Hello, welcome to Showtime number 9, or should I say welcome back. We're now part 3 of 3. In part 1 we heard about baths, in part 2 we heard about sleeping. Oh, we also looked at World of Tanks videos from Monatomic and how he could have done a little bit better, not by playing better, but by talking better and communicating with his team. Sweet. So in our last game, we've got something really special for you. But I'm not going to go into that just yet because I have one last thing to tell you. My toilet is fixed. That's right. A guy came round today for 3 hours and found out that my entire inside of my toilet had rusted to pieces, and he had to saw it. He had an angle grinder and sawed my toilet in half and repaired it. It took him 3 hours, but now I can flush my toilet without using a bucket. Now you know that and your life is fulfilled, I'll tell you a little bit about how you can join in with Showtime. If you send your replays to RivetingTV@gmail.com, I'll have a look at them with a short description of why I should look at it. I'll have a look at them and see if it's worthy of analysis. Also, you could say if you want it depicted, if you do better, or you want to do better, or you can say, we lost, I don't know why, or we won, thank you for teaching me such cool tricks. I learned this from your show. I feel like I'm a better player. Do you think I'm doing better? Or do you have any general tips to improve my style even though I won? Anything. So if this situation happens when you're in the game and you're like, how could I have done better? I won, but I want to do better. Send the replay in, I'll have a look at it. And it's cool. I don't necessarily take replays that you do amazing with, because normally that's one-sided battles that there's nothing you can say about it. It's like, oh yeah, you dominated them because you had better players or better tanks for that lineup. Chance things happens, and it's like, oh, I got 10,000 experience on a ×5, and it was because the entire enemy team were noobs and we had nothing but noobs on my team and I was the only good player. That necessarily isn't a good replay. So sometimes the best battles are the ones that are really close, and it just either way, win or lose, was really close. So send them into RivetingTV@gmail.com and just say why you'd want them displayed. Cool. On Monday nights, as you might know, we do Newbie Night. And on Newbie Night, you can turn up and learn something basic about the game and ask any sorts of questions, where we normally do a Q&A at the end. On Thursdays, we have our usual procast, although sometimes can be just a normal Showtime. And we have a look at professional teams training. We can interview people or just generally cover the pro scene and have insights on how to become a better team. And that was my mobile. Anyway, apart from that, we sometimes on Sundays do Let's Plays. You should always look out for them. And soon we'll be covering, I can't tell you, but soon we're covering something big, like really big, but shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, but soon we're going to cover something really big. It's going to blow your socks off, right? Like if you've got have you been to Sweden, right? Have you been to Sweden and seen their individual toed socks? Have you seen them? I had never seen them until this guy from Sweden used to work with me, and he bought me a pair. And he was like, hey dude, here's a present. I was like, it's a pair of socks. He was like, not any socks. Open them. And I opened them, and every single toe had their own little finger, like a glove, for the socks. I was like, what? Who has individual toed socks? It was brilliant. I didn't get on with them. They felt really weird, but after a while it became nice. However, it broke very quickly because it's lots and lots of seams, and eventually it broke apart and whatever. But they were pretty cool, really unique. So get yourselves a pair of toed socks. I'm going to get an email saying, thanks for upping our toed socks sales by 20. Whatever. Anyway, I have a very sexy replay for you right now from Schmeksiman. I'm going to call him that because although in German it said slightly different, I really think that is what he was going for. And he's in his chaffee here on Erlenberg. And we're going to have a look on what he does here. Let's see if I've actually muted the stream. I have. There you go. And let's have a look at what he does. So it's a defense map. So he, in theory, should have the easier time, but I find that this map's actually reasonably hard to defend sometimes, especially in openings. Let's see what he does. Now, I already know a big secret. I'm going to give a bit of a spoiler away. He does pretty good. So let's go in and see what he does. Chaffee's a really good skirmisher scout. So we'll go from his point of view and see what's going on. We've seen one enemy on this side in the VK, and the 12-ton is already giving communication. And you notice here, I'm going to stop and go out. There's communication, right? Good sign. The 12-ton is saying, hey, stop, Chaffee. You don't know what you're doing. Don't suicide. That's basically what he's saying. And that's cool. If this Chaffee was someone else, not the sexy man himself, but someone else, they might have gone off and suicided. But no, he knows what he's doing. He's actually just being the forward scout to see where the enemies are coming from and giving support to the middle, stopping the amazing amount of scout tanks the enemy have. Look at that. VK 2001 and AMX 12 times time 3? Jeez. So he knew that there was going to be a big rush coming, and he went forward just to see where it was coming from and give a hand. So that was actually really, really wise of him. So let's see what happens here. He gets a few dinging shots to the front, but he's in a really good position. I love this position he's in right now. It's a really good pit of the map. You can cover all of this while being semi-arty safe and safe from the enemies coming around here. However, with no one on top, you don't get any vision of people coming up here. And this position here is reasonably useless without that vision. So when he's on top, it's very, very, very good. So again here, he's now covering from enemy scouts who are coming through. Get a shot on the VK, but the VK itself doesn't, as we know, is going to be nerfed soon, but although that one doesn't have the dirt cannon, so it's not actually the best it can be. But the VK is still very dangerous and has a very good frontal plate, and that's where the first shot didn't go through. But another shot on the 12-ton, and that's very good. Oh, look at that! He predicted where he was going to go, but unfortunately it didn't go through. And the enemy goes... What was that? That was a Type 58, went flying past just a second ago. Oh no, Type 59-16. And it's flying through, going for the artillery. And what does Sexy Man do? He aims for him, and he leads the correct amount. One shot through. Drive forward a little. Aim forward. Miss. Shot goes through. Led a bit too much. Corrected the aim. He stops, and the friendly team gets it. That's cool. The M7 Priest was probably spotted, and now there's another scout going through. And this is also a mistake, by the way. He's now in the open field instead of behind the hill where he was protected. And now he's going to stop to take shots at the AMX. Right now, he's in serious danger of getting killed. And he just got hit in the engine block by the Tiger, and he lost his engine power, which he had to use his repair kit on. He's lucky right now that he realised this and moved. If he just continued sitting there, he would have been dead very quickly. But his shot against the MX 12-ton was appreciated by his teammates, but he didn't need to be where he was. He saw the MX 12-ton running across, he could have easily returned to cover before moving out. So let's continue seeing what's going on. The team seems to be doing okay on this corner. AMX 12-ton spotting the enemy, and the enemy has too cowardly to come through. Going over the top there was a silly idea, because the enemy is spotted, you've got artillery support, and you've got a medium tank to help with you. So you should just spot them and stay back. Let the enemies make the mistake. I make this mistake all the time. Remember, guys, I'm an avid supporter of having fun while playing a World of Tanks, right? You can learn to be better. You can learn to dominate your opponents. Cool. But don't need to always play your absolute best. Don't be scared to play World of Tanks when you're tired coming home from work and you just want to chill out. And if you want to be reckless sometimes, be reckless sometimes. And appreciate that sometimes your teammates are also in that situation that you are sometimes, right? You see that guy's suicide, don't call him a noob. He might just be chilling. You know, just say things like encouraging things like, hey dude, try not to suicide, or dude, that was stupid. Right? That was a stupid thing to do. Because most people know they're being stupid. Like when I'm in my suiciding mode, I'm in my T-44 and I take a huge risky maneuver that rarely pays off, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just having a bit of fun. I haven't got the patience because I'm tired. I just want to have fun. I want to blow things up. Quickly, escape, return to garage, go next tank, start battle. You know, we all do that. So don't necessarily rage at teammates for doing that as well. You know you do it. You know what you do. And here we go, the Cromwell makes a mistake, and this would be what he would actually have lost if he had taken another shot. The HP is at 58 right now. If he had gone over the top again when he took that damage earlier, he would have been dead. But luckily he only made the mistake once, learned from it, and has survived. And he's got to be able to take out the Jackson. Now if he had died earlier, that Jackson would be alive, and now the artillery would be under threat. Remember that. You are really important. You may be 1 of 15, but you're super important. You are. You are. You are. You're important, especially Schmeksiman right now as he's looking into the middle. And he realizes that the enemy are in the middle and exposed. One shot move. You saw that tracer go by him? That's because he shot and moved. He didn't want to get greedy. He didn't want to sit there and shoot. He shot once and moved. Totally the right thing to do. So I've got Panzer Battalion stuck in my head now. Who else has? Sorry. And he's going to go for the Panzer IV, but survives on 10 HP. What a low damage roll. And the next one bounces. Now that could have been disastrous if the Panzer IV was actually looking at him, but he wasn't, so he lucked out. That was really unfortunate. It was unlucky and lucky at the same time. The Tiger now is left on his own, and left on his own, the Tiger's got AMX 12 tons around him, and he's going to probably get taken out. Annihilator 11. It's a very similar name to one of our clanmates. Anyway, as you see, he's put on fire, the Tiger's burning, and he's now getting absolutely decimated by the T-21 and all the light tanks. And that's what happens if you're on your own. Where the enemy last two medium tanks are is probably over here and stuck. But see, if the Tiger had support from the Jackson over here, it may not have actually died so easily on its own. If we push through slower and stuff like that, but it wasn't. It was left on its own, and it died for it. So that's really good. And then again, that's because the Chaffee survived. The Chaffee survived and was able to kill off the enemies. Cool. GG. So right now it looks incredibly comfortable, but still don't count your chickens. We, as I showed in our company battles the other night, a single KV-2 took on 4 combat tanks, many of which was at full health, including 3 KV-1Ss, and destroyed everybody, and 2 artilleries. 3 KV-1Ss, another tank, and 2 artilleries, and the KV-2 killed them all. So don't ever count your chickens. And you understand that expression, right? Don't count your chickens till they hatch. You can count the eggs. I've got 8 eggs, and they're all being, trying to be hatched. Doesn't mean you've got 8 chickens. That's where the expression comes from. So don't count your chickens before they've hatched. Means don't count your eggs and think they're chickens. Right? You have 8 eggs doesn't mean you have 8 chickens. You have 8 eggs. Until they become chickens, you have 8 eggs and no chickens. Don't count your chickens. You know what I'm talking about, right? So don't count your chickens. You know you could still lose at any point if one of their tanks goes apeshit and just one-shots your entire team. It can happen. But I really like the Chaffee. The Chaffee's a really small, compact, medium tank. I hasten to call it a scout tank per se, because it's more of a really good medium tank. It really is. It's like a really good combat medium tank that can also double as a scout. But then again, almost all medium tanks can. It's a really nice bundle of troops. It doesn't excel at any one thing, so if you're looking for something really fast with a lot of damage, the Chaffee is not for you. And look at this, almost a huge mistake. If there was 3 enemies left alive, that cap would be over in 30 seconds. But all the team is over here, all of them, not a single one back. This could have been disastrous. See what I mean about counting your chicken, guys? Because if they had 3 guys back here, that artillery would die immediately as soon as leaving cover. The Chaffee would die if it rushed back. Look at this, 60% done. If this was 3 people and they saw the artillery, they would have capped. Almost guaranteed. They could have lost that. They could have lost that. Actually, on the talk of eggs, I had a fried egg sandwich this morning. Nothing beats eggs for waking up, right? Have you ever had eggs for breakfast? It's lovely, it wakes you up. It fills you up until beyond lunchtime. Today, I didn't have lunch. I woke up around 9, I had a fried egg sandwich made by my loving wife, and I then didn't eat until 4 o'clock for dinner, right? I just went through. Eggs are amazing, I love eggs. So don't count your chickens because you might make a fried egg sandwich. And that means you have less chickens, but you have a fried egg sandwich, and they're motherfucking good. And he does die at the end there, and as I said earlier, they had 3 guys defending here, the artillery would have died, the Chaffee would have died, and they would have won the game. So that was almost a situation where one game was lost due to overconfidence. Now I'm going to see if XSplit is going to crap out with me trying to bring in his score sheet, so you can see how well he did. So let's see. XSplit, don't die, XSplit. Don't die. Pray to the gods that XSplit doesn't die. And XSplit. Don't die on me, XSplit. And we can notice that he was actually playing on a square monitor. He wasn't actually playing widescreen. So that's pretty cool. Let's do the splash screen first. So on the splash screen, we can see that he earned 10,000 experience. Don't worry, guys, that was times 5. All right, that wasn't, or was it times 5? I think it was times 5. We'll find out soon enough. Let's have a look. Has to be, yeah, times 5. There you go, guys. It was times 5. That's cool. But still, that's a really nice times 5. So as you see here, he got 10,000 experience points and he got 30,000 credits. Really decent. And if we have a look at his team scores, he was right there at the top with 1,323. He had a teammate that was doing really well. In fact, he had a really nice set of teams, but they almost fucked up at the end there because they all went. As I said, guys, don't count your chickens. Things can go wrong. Always play like you're against the your worst nightmare. Play against like your enemies are the best enemies you've ever faced in the world. You're going against the most professional Red Rush team ever in the world, and they're gonna beat you. Even they got 1 tank left. That guy is the most pro guy you've ever met. Treat him with respect, and you will find yourself winning more often. And them silly mistakes like, oh, we almost won, but we lost because of a silly mistake. Everyone went 1 by 1. And that's because you don't respect your opponents. People use XVM. I often hear on TeamSpeak when I'm playing with other people. They're like, oh, that guy's a red guy. I'll just charge forward and die because he then shoots me in the hammer rack and he's in a KV-1S. Right? Because even red players may not be, they may be red for different reasons. They may be red because they lose a lot, but they're actually a really good individual player. They're just not very good at actually winning the game. Or they're a decent shot, but they're always in the wrong place. So you go around the corner, they can hit you, and they will hit you, but they're just in the wrong place. They're not actually helping their team much. So always respect your opponent. That's why I do not play with XVM. You see the mods I'm playing with now? I don't actually play with that. That's just my commentating mods. I play with 0 mods. I play with the standard game. I configure the UI with the inbuilt configured UI. I'm not against mods. If you look at our Lokistan video where we interview Lokistan, I'm not against mods at all, not in the slightest, but I don't like the way most people use XVM. You can use XVM nicely, like knowing who the bigger threats are, understanding them, but a lot of people use XVM for raging at people. Oh, this guy's a noob. Oh, our Lurvy at the top is an absolute red player. GG, you win. Which all you're doing is arming your opponent and demoralizing your Lurvy. If he reads that, he's not going to respond. He's just going to go, yeah, I know. And he's going to sit back in a tree somewhere useless and go, well, I'm useless. What's the point of trying? Morale is a big thing. Back in the ancient times, or even in modern times, morale can win things. If you think you're going to lose, there's a good chance you can lose. The enemy's going to go, you're going to lose, just give up. Okay, yeah. Low morale means you just put the weapon away and go, yeah, we give up. You may have 10,000 men and we have 100,000, but we suck. You're right, we win. You win. We're not even going to fight you. And that is just, you're just asking to lose. So I'm going to open up questions again to the audience for anything that we've covered tonight, or even something we haven't. I feel generous. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to ask me questions about anything else, about what I've said, even about my toilet, if you really want to know about it. Okay, again, I will tell you before I get any feedback from people. Remember, you can email us at rivetingtv@gmail.com. rivetingtv@gmail.com with any replay you like that you want me to analyze, or even if you just think, hey, thanks for helping me. I've become from red player to a green player, for example. If you want to know the color code system, it's basically red, yellow, green, and XVM does that. It color codes people by their efficiency, which is bullshit, by the way, but generally speaking, the higher your skill rating, the higher your color, and it kind of correlates, but it's not quite. So, you know, if you're just performing better and you're low tier, mid tier, I don't necessarily want to see everyone in tier 10s, but if you're tier 7, 5, 4, I appreciate everything you send me, and maybe you'll get shown. You don't have to necessarily do very good. Is the M4 a good combat tank? Do you know what? Today, I actually had the M4 for the first time. I got to the M4 for the first time. With the derp gun on that, and I mean, I know derp guns are cheese at the moment, and they should kind of be nerfed or removed because it's really spoiling the game. But the M4 with the derp cannon and a couple of premium shells can kick serious ass. It's pretty nimble, has great gun depression, and if you keep the first turret and not the second turret, you have reasonably good armor too against most things of your tier, and you can damage almost anything around you up to tier 7. So I really like the M4. It's a really good tank. Most American tanks are bullshit, right? American tanks are OP, right? You go to the European forums and they'll go, oh, it's Russian bias, they hate the Germans, but they forget that the US tanks are fucking OP. Seriously, have you seen the American tanks? Oh my god, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Crew training and moving crews. Yeah, no problem. Crews are trained in premium tanks, basically. What you can do, you can buy 75% crew with your silver, or even 50% crew. Shove them in a gold tank you don't care about, of the same type and nation. If you get a gold tank like a Churchill, buy the Churchill gold tank for the USSR. Any of your heavy tanks can be trained in it. That includes the IS-4. You can buy an IS-4 crew, shove it in the Churchill, play 100 games with the Churchill, get them up to 100%. So your first ever game with the IS-4 would be with 100% crew and you didn't pay gold for it. And remember, premium tanks are a one-off purchase. When you buy them once, you keep them forever. So you don't, and you earn more silver from them. Remember that as well. So you can always do it that way round. Buy a slot, which is, I know gold, but it's a one-off purchase, it's there forever. Buy a premium tank, which again, one-off purchase, and then you can forever train all your same nation, same class, so heavy and USSR in this case, in that tank. And you can keep your stats of your main tank better because you get 100% crew immediately without grinding through to get the better gun and with a 50% crew, which is a double whammy. So that's good. You might need to extend your barracks if you need to do that, but generally speaking, I buy my premium tanks without crew. Without any crew, and I just use the nation's tanks to, you know, train them up. Like the Ram 2 for the American medium tanks. And Spyball trains her T50 crew in a Tetrarch, yeah. I train my VK2801 in the Cheese Mouse, but I don't play that tank very often. I don't like it, it's too slow. Am I drunk? No, I'm not. I will be Friday, though. No, you do not need to pay any gold. No, you don't need to pay any gold at all if you transfer them to a gold tank. You do need to transfer crews between, so let's say you don't like keeping your tanks, and you're about to move from the M4 to the EZ8, right? And you want to sell your tier 5 and you want to move to your tier 6. You buy your EZ8 with no crew. You send all your guys to barracks. You then put them in your EZ8. You sell your M4. You're now in a situation where they're red. And you have to retrain them. And you have 3 options. Free, which severely removes their XP. 75%, which still removes quite a lot. Or gold, where you don't lose any XP. And if you don't want to spend gold, that's fine. I appreciate that. Not everyone's got spare cash lying around. You can do an easy trick. Make sure you level them above whatever the skill you want to keep them at. So let's say you've got your first skill and you're in your second skill. Make sure you got a few percent of that. And when you go to retrain, check to make sure that you will not lose that skill. Believe it or not, you earn lots of the curve at the start of the level. So it goes up much quicker to begin with, and then the last few percent takes a lot more to get them up. So get to like 30% before you retrain them, and then you won't lose that skill. So for example, you get to 100% crew, and then you get them to like 30% of their first skill. Then you move into a new tank and retrain them. You'll go back to 100%. You're still at 100%. So you could do that, or if they drop below, send them to your premium tank and just retrain them. That's generally speaking what to do. I've got a Churchill for my heavy crew. I've got a Matilda for my USSR medium crew. I've got a Ram 2 for my American medium crew. And not necessarily high tiers. Remember that these are tier 5s. So you can always train your crews in different tanks. You don't have to do the same one. Cunningham crew in a tier 2 light tank, although the Cunningham's very good. The T57, I've not actually played it. So unfortunately, I'm not going to give you an opinion because I don't want to give you a misleading one. I don't want to recommend things that I've not actually played. So, cool. I think that's all we've got time for today. But by all means, check out tomorrow, which is World of Tanks Tips Live, where you get to see the awesome World of Tanks Tips episode, as we saw in the first game, helped Monatomic know exactly where to go on that map. Cliff. I I knew that. I didn't forget the name of the map. You can check them out at youtube.com/The Rising Sun with a double I, Rising Sun, right? Or just search in Google or in YouTube for World of Tanks Space Tips, and you're guaranteed to get the channel. Fantastic episodes. Really, really good information, and you can watch them in your leisure. There's an amazing amount of content at the moment, so by all means check that out and subscribe to it. If you want to watch previous episodes, previous showtimes, go to the Riveting TV archive on YouTube, subscribe there, and you'll get all the old episodes reformatted in a smaller chunk and without the music breaks there. So if you miss an episode, you can by all means go there. Or if you hear me referring to a previous episode like yesterday's newbie night where you learn about premium tanks, you know, that is all going to be there. So cool. Yeah. Okay, one last question. Go for it quickly. I'm about to sign off. I'm reaching for the button. What's the last question? Last question. Shh, don't tell anybody. I'm going over time. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to get in trouble. It actually came from my wife. She hung it up on, she made a poster when she was going back to college. She put it above her desk. And basically, it just said, be the change you want to see in the world. And she wrote it herself, and she put, I don't know where she got it from. And I saw it there, and I was like, that's really good. It's really good thing for life. Why wait for other people to be nice to other people when you could be nice to them? Why wait for someone else to teach someone a skill when you could do it? Why wait till tomorrow to learn a new skill when you could just do it now? Things like that. If you want to get better and sleep better, do it yourself. Don't wait for that excuse. Oh, the only reason I'm not sleeping well is because there's roommates who are being loud. Buy earplugs. There's always something you can do. So by all means, it's a really good phrase. My previous phrase was the only thing, what was it? Sorry. In a perfect world, the only thing real would be your dreams. And that was my previous phrase, which is something for me. It's from my first book that I wrote. You wrote a book? That's another story for another time, trust me. But basically what that meant, do you know what? No, you can think about that. In a perfect world, the only thing real would be your dreams. Good night, sexy people. Rawr.